My darling, I suspect the way the light filters through the Enclave's veil makes you look more luminous than ever.
Stop. It'll go to my head.
Should I come back later? I didn't mean to interrupt you two.
Sorry, Bryn. Sometimes we get lost in our little world.
But since you're here, I was actually hoping to speak with both you and Sola.
Oh?
I don't know if you know this, but my wife is an extremely talented smith who was apprenticed under a variety of world-class teachers.
Well, a revolving door of mentors doesn't exactly facilitate the most stable education, especially when one of them drops dead in front of you.
Oh, details. You've made more of your varied experience than most could glean from a lifetime. Anyway, I know you always hoped to further your education with the Tarmakine Smithing School's techniques. So, I asked Lane to look into whether or not any Tarmakine smithing was ever practiced here in the Enclave.
Oh, doll. You shouldn't have. It's sweet, but there are other priorities.
What could be more pressing than helping my wife fulfill her lifelong dreams? As luck would have it, there were Tarmakine smiths here before the search.
Really?
Perhaps our daring point might be able to keep a lookout for anything those smiths might have left behind?
I mean, if it's too much trouble.
Of course. I'd be happy to help.
Perfect. I'll leave you to discuss the details.
Anything in particular I should look for?
The Tarmakine smithing techniques are exceptionally complex, and as such, pretty rare across the Maida. It might be too much to hope for anything close to a completed armor set, but prototypes or even notes pertaining to the style would be useful. I'd take anything you can find.
Got it. I'll keep an eye out.
Thanks, Bryn.
We already have the key swatch, but I was wondering if you could tell me what kind of gear works best against cold temperatures.
With the right materials, any design for armor could give you some resistance to frost magic and cold temperatures.
What kind of materials could I bring you?
A Kala hide would do the trick for one.
There are plenty of those prowling in the outskirts. Thanks for the insight.
You know,
Do tell.
if you're going to be up, they can't light.
I'll keep... Darn. I didn't ask before we recovered the key swatch in Poldervale. But mind giving me a primer on dealing with cold anyway?
Certainly. It's never too late to learn about the many ways in which your mantle can make life just that much more magical. When dealing with temperature, your magic can directly counteract it.
I'm guessing we fight frost with flame?
Just so. Like building a fire on a cold night, except much faster. And the night has teeth and talons.
Unfortunately, I don't have a flame strand yet.
It's a tall order, but defeating a drake would allow us to weave a strand of its power.
Drakes and I are due for a reckoning anyway.
Spoken like a true point.
Hey, Lane. We've already dealt with Portervale, but I'd love to hear any alchemical advice on withstanding cold.
Oh, certainly. Drinking a frost shroud phial would do the trick. It makes cold temperatures much easier to withstand. I don't have the facilities to make one just yet, but perhaps you and Casmin could prioritize them?
I'll keep that in mind next time I have some supplies to spare.
Never miss something magnificent.
Incredible.
I've traveled all over, but I've never seen a city quite like this.
Denevron. The Enclave's capital city. The architecture was built to accommodate the Enclave's largest archons.
Good. I thought I'd shrunk using the loom gate.
The city looks as though it's been completely abandoned.
Let's break down the search. Who's got ideas?
Government and archives will establish a history. The closest government buildings can be found in the steppes. You're clearly in Upper Denevron, so according to our map, it shouldn't be far.
People need supplies. Supplies are in markets. And the markets in Lower Denevron.
And there's the bastion on the edge of the city. The military would be involved in any disaster response, and the surge certainly counts. 3 good leads. Bryn, it's your call.
hadn't hit so hard, the steps would lead to the spire. Alas. Elected representatives would convene there, including the Eye, the Enclave's leader.
Imagine a time when Weavers had our own governing body.
Odd. That ark's just standing there. No sign of damage, but there's something lodged in the back plate. It's a thingy.
So, I'll take a look later.
Watch the tangles coming out of that chasm. The surge hit this place hard.
And look, more coral.
Must have been growing below ground.
Would explain why there's so much damage here from the surge. Ark of the living flame. Lightly armored compared to the others, but expect things to get hot.
Maximilian Arden, founder of the Enclave. Judging by the size of his statue, he certainly wasn't shy about his accomplishments.
Are these the embassies? Envoys landing, yes. It wasn't by chance that visiting dignitaries had to walk across the verdant gardens to meet their Enclave counterparts at the Spire. Upper Denevron was designed to impress.
I've got you.
For a band of weavers who just discovered a long-lost city, you don't look very excited.
The prospect of imminent death has put a dampener on things.
While you were out, I found a note. A warning, actually.
We suspect our Hearthsider friend snuck back into the camp.
The letter cautions us that a phenomenon referred to as the Flood is hot on our heels. The Flood is essentially a torrential wave of deadly raw magic that will completely overtake the outskirts and Denevron. Apparently this is a cyclical disaster preceded by extreme weather. Anyone caught in it will die, meaning us.
Honestly, that's not the news I was hoping to hear. But it doesn't change anything.
You did hear Dom say torrential wave of raw magic, right?
Yes. I also heard cyclical, and that it was a Hearthsider who warned us about it. Which means our goal of finding out what happened to the Hearthsiders hasn't changed. If anything, we're one step closer to it.
If this flood is cyclical, it means the Hearthsiders are surviving it somehow. Maybe they have a safe haven on high ground, or enchantments of some kind. All this means is we need to track down the Hearthsiders now more than ever. As though...
As though our lives depend on it.
Yeah, that.
I have asked our third friend to join us since he demonstrated such insight with the Loom Gates.
It was just a lucky guess.
Nonsense. The Loom Gate works. Enough said.
Gents, the, thingy?
Dom said you found it attached to an ark. One that was shut down.
Mm-hmm. No sign of damage, but this part came off easily.
It's safe to assume it wasn't part of the original construction, then. The arcs are famously durable.
Bryn, think back. How does it compare to the ark we found outside the Veil?
Exactly the same. Completely motionless. At least, at first.
We should take another look at our newest friend, then. Care to do the honors?
Same place? Same place.
Dom? Bryn, do you have a moment?
For my favorite lawkeeper? Absolutely.
I'm the only lawkeeper here, though.
Yes. Doesn't mean you aren't my favorite. So, what do you need?
What was it? Oh, yes. I'm looking to do some experiments with our chemical reagents, and was wondering if you could source me some.
That sounds like something I could help with. What's the experiment?
I won't waste your time with specifics. I just think it'll produce something helpful, if my hypothesis is correct.
Well, my last lawkeeper sent me out all the time for herbs that he'd inevitably just stuff in a pipe and smoke.
Oh. No, that makes sense, then. Yes. Sorry. I think I can help Oria with the Watcher's Wisp.
Oh. After what happened in the Veil Shadow, any improvement to the scry is worth making.
Exactly. I noticed that she needs a break before guiding you again. The tangles were so bad in the shadow, she couldn't use the wisp at all.
The scry has been better inside the Enclave. But we shouldn't take any chances. What do you need?
There's a plant that only grows here in the Enclave. It expresses a clarifying magical essence. I think I can use it to strengthen Oria's connection with the scry.
That'd be really helpful.
I think so too. Now, am I missing something?
Where can I find the plant?
Oh, right. At night, in the outskirts. They glow, so you won't be able to identify them during the daytime. And I believe they mostly grow in clusters near bodies of water. Not rivers, but ponds, lakes, you know.
Go to the outskirts at night and grab some glowing plants near bodies of water. Got it.
Well, they have a more accurate name than that. I won't overcomplicate it. But they're referred to locally as Diane's Chorus, which refers to a moment in the Enclave's history early on when their second leader, Diane Ramenos, was elected by unanimous vote. She was the right person at the right time for the Enclave and brokered several extremely lucrative trade deals.
The more you talk, the longer you'll wait.
Sorry, yes, please, go. Bring them to me as soon as you can. Thank you.
Well observed, Sev. You were correct.
Just a lucky guess.
Up. No more of that. Lady, gentlemen, I think we can confidently assert conspiracy.
2 devices does start a pattern.
And a pattern that must predate the Surge, since we found a device that was outside the Veil.
True. That gives us a what and a when, but leaves a whom, a how, and a why.
And how many arcs have been affected?
It does follow that if we found 2, there could be more.
I'll keep an eye out for tampered arcs.
Some may have restarted on their own, like the one we followed through the Veil.
They're going to fight back, aren't they?
It does seem to be, our luck, yes.
Swing hard. Not as protective, but great against the elements. Not too heavy, not too light. Take them out from it. Distance, and they'll never know you were there. Classic design here. Don't forget to block. Don't forget to block. Kept it light for agility.
Lane, could I have my ink pot? You borrowed it. Goodbye. Bryn, Sev and I have been digging into the devices you recovered, and we've developed a working theory.
We'll test it against the ones you found in the field.
Another tampered arc. Aha! Another thingy. Why is it so cold?
This can't be natural.
It's just like Poldervale, only on a massive scale. This is exactly what happened to Taza after the surge when all the aeroliths failed. It must be something like that.
That arch should lead you to the lower city.
A body. Ahead. Outfit looks like our spying friends.
So, it's a uniform.
There's a note in his pouch. New drop. Market Loomgate, it says. But wait. Under his mask, he's scorched. Aurea, this looks like the wound on your wing. Only it's everywhere.
But there's no tangle there.
Could he have been caught in the flood?
Seems likely. Proof we should take that warning seriously.
I think we should look into that drop his note mentioned.
Especially if it's near a loom gate.
There's a small compartment here, hidden in the statue, already open and empty.
I often heard that as you entered the perch, the bustle of Denevron would begin to crescendo until it peaked in the market. The Tattered Mantle. I've heard so many stories of this tavern. Always rowdy.
The Undergreen. This is where the seediest of deals were done.
These streets running in parallel are known as the Three Sisters. Many weavers hosteled here.
Broker's Arch, the market loom gate.
Same spot as the last statue. Struck a vein, as my dad used to say.
Wait, Dad, I was half listening. Are you hurt?
Metaphor. Her dad was a miner.
We've got a tally sheet of some sort. Series of numbers below. And a bunch of garbled text below that. I have no idea what I'm looking at.
I might. Before the surge, the Denevron market was famous across the Maida. Caravans left the Enclave with enchanted treasures.
Careful! A sledgeworm can throw things over 3 times its size. Weaver's Rest. Said to be a common place for weavers in Lowtown to gather.
dead body and a hidden cache of materials. It sounds like the start of a Scold's tale.
All we need is a saber conveniently placed on the mantle and we're set.
More seriously, you said you had an idea about that sheet?
Before signing on with Aurea, I worked the relief ships between my home and Udea. A Don Brenning initiative, mind you. Our neighbours across the bay love to claim otherwise. The dockers always wanted big loads for the cranes. But certain things, like, say, herbs, you'd only ship in small quantities. Over the years, the convoys developed a system where you'd have runners and haulers. Runners would make quick trips and bring small goods to a drop. Haulers would pack the cargo together and make longer hauls to the docks.
You think we're looking at a similar system, then?
Absolutely, I do. It's the sheet you found. That's a requisition for a runner if I've ever seen one. And note how it says Scout Group 23 here. That's a lot of groups.
Which means my mysterious observer is part of a large organization.
And an active one.
What do we do with this information, then?
At the bottom of the sheet, there's that series of numbers and letters. Those would represent drop points. I did some digging with Lane, and they're referring to coordinates on a map of the Enclave that was made just before the surge. L7 is part of the capital, see? That's where you found this drop. So, I'm inferring that these other marked coordinates are just as likely to have drops.
I'll check them, then.
If nothing else, we could find materials for our own stocks. But I'm hoping there's more.
Maybe where our Hearthsiders are hiding.
Also, Lane was looking over the orders and wanted to talk to you about the writing along the bottom.
More drops, and talk to Lane. Got it.
Sola seems pretty pleased with the upgrades to her forge. I think she might want to...
What have we found?
That I am a very great fool.
He is not a fool.
I am. Hours trying to unravel the complex enchantments in each of these devices, and Sev here, Paragon of Clarity, points out a single point of commonality so mundane I had ignored it.
It's a team effort every time, Dom. What did you two discover?
What our keen-eyed friend spotted was a singular mark etched into each device.
A maker's sigil. We used them in Tarza to lay claim to a craft work. They're certified to each maker. And I've always heard we borrowed that practice from the Enclave.
Meaning this mark could be registered in public records.
The Spire is a logical next stop. Nothing comforts the rich and powerful like bureaucracy.
That's where I'll start looking, then. You wanted to talk about the supply orders?
Indeed. It's about the gibberish along the bottom. Notice how the writing is in a different hand.
Yes, I can see that.
We're looking at a cipher. Someone sharing encoded notes.
Sounds like we have a cipher to break. I'll keep hitting dead drops.
Any code is easier to break with more samples. Can work on it like any other research project.
An abandoned city like Denevran. It must be full of supplies we could use. Do you think you could maybe grab some things for me?
You know I'm happy to help. What do we need?
I've noticed there are more arcs in the city.
So have I.
The upside is, according to Lane's logs, the ones carrying shields could be scavenged for assault. A metal we could use to reinforce all kinds of gear and facilities. A little heat would help in prying it off the arcs.
All right. I'll come back as soon as I have some.
Great. Thanks, Bryn. So, spare a little rassault for a good cause?
Right here.
Perfect. I was actually thinking it would be good to start stockpiling some Akala hide. The nights get pretty cold here, and we could use it to reinforce our tents and blankets for warmth.
I'll be back in no time.
Thanks, Bryn. Please, hurry. Any luck hunting?
That should be enough for a few blankets and tents.
Oh, that's so great. I don't suppose you would mind getting something else for me?
Yeah, no problem. If you've still got room in the caravan.
I'm just thinking, in an unknown climate, we don't know how fast the seasons might turn here, and as I said, it gets pretty cold at night. We should stock softwood for warmth. Like, a lot of it. To keep our hearth lit, you know?
Oh. Okay. I'm confused. The Akala hide I just brought you isn't enough?
It's a start, for sure, but we need to be more prepared. Lots of softwood could really save us in a pinch.
Kaz, I've been bringing you all this stuff because I thought it would help you feel better. But honestly, you seem even more anxious now. Are you all right?
No, I'm fine. I really am. I just need to make sure the Weaver Band is okay.
Right. It's just... I'm trying to make sure you're okay.
Please. I really need your help with this.
All right. I guess I'll be back then.
Thanks, Bryn. Come back with it soon. Did you manage to find enough softwood?
If you need more than this, the Don Brennick Pine Preservationists will come for me. Here you go.
Oh, great.
You don't sound as happy as I thought you'd be.
It's just that what I'm realizing is the Weaver Band really needs Drake scales. Like, give or take 90 to be safe.
Wait, 90 Ash Peak Drake scales?
Yeah, not the easiest thing to get, but maybe instead of fighting drakes, you could find one of their nests. I think they shed, right?
Kaz, I'm glad I've been able to help you, but I do have other duties as point. And this sounds time-consuming. What could we possibly need 90 scales for?
Because... It's hard to explain, but... Please, can you trust me? I just really need you to trust me.
All right. I'll see what I can do.
Casbin, what's going on? Are we outfitting an army?
Because it's... I just think we could...
Don't you think Bryn's got you pretty well stocked at this point?
But... You're right. I got carried away. Sorry.
It's okay.
Thanks for all your help. Excuse me, I'm gonna put all this away now.
You all right?
Yeah, I'm fine.
If you say so. Good work, Bryn. We'll take care of the rest of this.